Morning. close to that house. There's Willie. Willie the wagtail. When I first came here with my ex-partner, she bought a house and the man living in it didn't want to move out. When we went to look at the house, he talked about all the bad stuff of the house, trying to make us not buy it, or not me, make my ex not buy it. And we came here for 2 weeks. We had to live in my van. She didn't really like it. It was middle of summer, hot as. I didn't have everything in it like I do now. But I tell you, 2 weeks, beautiful spot here. you not can't drive here now. Well, that's what they've got signs up. Still, you still drive here, but they don't want you driving here. As you can see, look, people still drive here. People used to use this as a boat ramp, the locals. Found that out when I first moved here. Look at this, it's beautiful. It's not as good as this in the day stuff, when the sun comes up and the sun brings the energy with it. It starts to get a bit rough. Very beautiful though, isn't it? Look at that. Could you see yourself living in a place like this one day? They're around. At the now where I am, it was cheap 10 years ago. It's not that cheap now. But there's a boat out there. See this boat? See if you can see it. This boat, where is he? Anyway, there's a boat out there. For some reason my phone won't focus. But he's been living on that boat with his friends probably about 2 years now. Because there's buoys out in the water where they're put there specifically for casual stays. I think 3 months is the max you can stay at them. Yeah, so he's been out there. We had one of the Manly ferries out there when I first moved here. I cannot recollect the name, but yeah, that was here for a while. The man who owned it planned on making like a backpacker retreat, and they had to go out there, but he must have run out of money because he stopped doing what he had to do on it. Beautiful. The bird life here is just amazing. I was feeding the drongos meat when they come here. Like the drongos, they come from Africa, and they come here in our winter to mate, have babies, and then they fly all the way back again. Oh, what a way to fly, man. You look on the map, what they got to do. And we feed the other birds, the native birds, when it's been raining and there's no feed around. Yeah. It just feels good to give. It really does. Now, living with all these mental illnesses I have, it's good to give. Makes me feel good. There's picnic tables all through the place. I think the walk from end to end is around about 5 k's. It's a brand new concrete path that's just put in, say, the last 2 years. Wasn't even wide enough for one person to walk up. Now, this looks like this person is staying there. That's a new boat. Probably been there 6 months now. But people come here, seriously, if you come too close to the shore like this one, you'd have to have a flat bottom boat, but base, because, or a yacht with keels, because they'll stick in the ground. If it's got a V shape, you'll, so right beside on the left hand side of that boat you see there is another boat. Here's the one that's been there for 2 years. But yeah, look at that. Ever since, look at that. You can't see it too well. When I first moved here, there was maybe 3 or 4 boats out there. Look at that now. They're just everywhere. Yeah, because you have a V-bottom boat, your boat will be tilted on one side. Look at that pink sky in the morning. Can you see that? Pink sky in the morning. Just shepherd's warning. Yeah, you should be able to see the boat now. It's focusing now, because there he is. It didn't focus earlier. That's strange. But yeah, that one out there, he's been here for 2 years. Yeah. Used to have this lady on there, they'd leave their boat here, their little dinghy, and she'd come in with the washing. You get a lot of rain here. The rain comes up from the south. Rainbow Beach is over there, that way. Yeah, you do get a lot of rain here, but when it's here, it's coming up from the south, it just kicks in, because the clouds follow the water, really. And so having the big bay helps. But seriously, when we first moved here, the year before, they went into a drought. But since we've been here, I prayed for rain. I'm not saying praying works, but put it out there, I believe. You put something out there and keep talking about it and keep wanting it. They say it's going to be a warm summer, a warm winter. And a wet one at the moment up here. You've got all these little signs. These signs used to be on another walking track, a nature track. When we first moved here, there was a nature track. But it's down on the Snapper Creek side. A lot of dingoes live down there. There's a bat colony down there at the moment. It's quite, nature's nature. We can't say we like bats, but we like something else. I kind of like the bats. They get a bad drift from people, Move them on with this. Okay, they're smelly, but coming from someone who used to smoke a lot of dope, you got a strand called Cincinella. Well, then you've got hydroponic, and the bat weed actually smells like hydroponic marijuana, the heads. I kind of like the smell. I don't do it anymore, but those experiences that you liked in life, they come back every now and again, and you think, yeah, I remember those days. I remember those days. And yeah, I do. There were some good days and bad days, but took a lot of money off me. Well, I spent a lot of money on it. So I could always say it took a lot of money off me, blame, or I could say I spent a lot of money on it. Accept responsibility. So yeah, I spent a lot of money on it. And look, there were some good times. There was also some ugly times and some illegal times, some silly times and some stupid times. But all in all, it was an experience, something that, part of life. They're the beautiful trees here, look at that. Let's go and hug one. Look, this one's got warts on it. I bet no one wants to touch this one because he's got warts. Look at that. The tree's got warts. Let's go and hug a tree. Hey, you want to hug a tree with me? Yeah, hug a tree. Yeah, it's not so beautiful, hug a tree. Hug a tree. Hug a tree, people. Hug a tree. Walk on the grass with no shoes on. Unfortunately, I got shoes on. I got Skechers on. So comfortable, these shoes. Never knew about them until I met my friend Glennis, my ex-girlfriend, my ex-partner. And she taught me a lot of things about myself and about life. You know, I never had a relationship. Never had a relationship with my father, my mother, my brothers. I had I had one relationship with a woman. I went for 2.5 years. But it was take. All she did was take from me. Mind you, the other part of life, it was great. But not having kids myself, I couldn't really help with the kid part of life because I was still a kid myself, you know. But she was chasing the money, and when I got injured, and I could no longer work my job anymore unless I'd make a permanent injury of it, I had to leave. And she left. So then it was like a long time. So I met Glennis. It was probably 12, no, not that long, 10 years. But no, I've been with Glennis. I was with Glennis for 10 years. And look at that beautiful tree. What am I on? 2? Let's get a 5. A bit too close, wasn't I? So yeah, I learned a lot about relationships and with other people and what you have to do and what you need to do and what you can do and what you cannot do. You know, and I lost myself in that relationship. I lost what I wanted to do. And it was hard too, like from the heart. It was, you know, there was times where I wanted to do something, but I actually couldn't do it because it wasn't my house, or Glennis wanted to sleep in, or she wanted a peace and quiet in the house, and I wanted to get up and make a coffee and make a bit of noise, but I couldn't. And I just didn't grow up. I just didn't grow up. Yeah, cars used to drive in here too. This is a good park spot. You've got a four-wheel drive. There's a lot of four-wheel drive stuff here. Yeah. So, look, it's going to be hard now for me to be with someone because I'm travelling on the road. And really, you know, we got all of us, we got our own wants. What do we want to do? Where do we want to go? What do we want from life? You know? And you know, the male and female relationship. Men, as I say, men only want one thing. I want a friend. You know, I got one in Glennis. She's always going to be a distance away. But it'll be always good to call in. I can always call in and say hello. I got the shakes. Cold out here. I was watching a video on YouTube last night, and the guy was selling something, as they always are. And he was selling the idea of there's a code to getting more views on YouTube for your videos. And if you don't know the code, you'll never get out there for people to see your videos. And one of the things he was talking about was you, the listener, has to see the person's face. And I did videos before. I've deleted them all now, but I was coaching people with anger management or anger or a few mental illnesses, and they're all basically only the mental illnesses that evolve from anger. Addictions I was helping people with. And I was looking into the camera all the time. I don't know, I just... having to see a person's face, it made me feel that I had to watch the video. I couldn't put the phone down or put a pair of headphones on and go about my day and just listen to the video. And so this time round, I'm under the precipice, I think that's the right word, that, look at this, the tide's coming in further and further. Look at that, see, look at this. The tide's coming right in, look at that. Seagrass there. Look, someone's thong. I'm under the precipice that you don't need to see my face. You'd prefer to have a view like this and be able to ponder what's said or watch the view, which is, hey, I'd rather look at a view than my ugly face. Well, it's not that ugly. It's a bit fat because I've gained weight, as we all do. They say our face is one of the first things, our gut, and our face is one of the first things that gains the weight. Yeah, my face is a little bit fatter than what it used to be. And yeah, I just, if anyone gets to see this video, again, I'm not expecting heaps of people to see my stuff. I'm not paying for it to be seen. I'm under the impression that, look, YouTube's forever. You know, I do shorts. Probably that's the only way I'm highlighting who I am. Put my name out there. I have been guided to start posting on social media, but I just got Starlink and I've got another phone, so I'm going to get social media on that phone. I don't particularly want it on my personal phone. Social media does my head in. There's so much negativity on there, you know. You don't need it. I don't need it. I don't want it either. How's this? I want to show you something. See this boat out there? There's a story behind this boat. Let's go a bit further. There it is. This boat, when we first moved here, there was a boat exactly like it. Exact. And when the tide went out, I'd just go out there and there was holes in it, and it was basically ravaged by the water and the weather. And then the council done this big clean-up, cleaned up all the boats. We had a houseboat here, there was, so many boats that were just abandoned by people. People not, even he has this, all the yachts down there. It was like, it wasn't as bad as that when we first moved here. Anyways, back to this boat. Yeah, and the council come along and the maritime people come along and took it away. And you wouldn't believe it. Not even a week later, the exact same boat was back out there again with all the canvas on it, just floating. And then slowly but surely, it stopped floating. And then someone went out there with wood and drilled the wood, or hammered the wood into the sand, and then drilled the wood into the boat. So it just stayed there. So we come under the idea that someone who lives opposite where that boat is, their husband passed, and the boat keeps their husband in their heart. Every time they obviously get out the front, and that boat is there because of her husband. That's sweet, isn't it? But is it sweet? Because spiritually, when we think about someone and they've passed, we're actually holding their spiritualness, their soul, their spirit, or their energy. We're holding them here on earth. We're not allowing them to, we're not allowing them to move on. You know, it's all about moving on in this world. We've all got lessons to learn. We've all got things to do. We've got things to experience. You know, what are they? Earth's not the only planet. It's the most beautiful, one of the most beautiful planets to come to. I tell you, what people are doing to it. It'll be a while before everything's really destroyed. A long while. Still going to be here when I pass. You know. But, you know, people are more interested in today, what they're doing. They're not focused on what's good for the planet or what's good. It's all about what's good for them. Sorry. And what's good for them is what's good for the planet. But I do believe not too many people think it like that. You know, when you say the word but after something, it negates it, what you just said. So you can talk about something, go but, and then you say something else. That word but negates all that stuff you just talked about. It's a university thing. I failed school. They took my high school. Look, I failed primary school, but because I was so bad, the school didn't want me anymore. And so then they pushed me onto high school. God, I wasn't ready for high school. But anyway, I was there. And I'd done my school certificate. And you know what? Being the temperamental, mental person I am today, that's who I was when I was a kid. I just got up. You don't tell me what to do. You know, so I got up and handed my test into the front desk where the teacher was sitting. And one of the rules were you had to sit there until everyone was finished. And then your papers were collected and then you could go. Otherwise, you'd fail your test. Oh, stuff it. I knew I was going to get bad marks anyway because I couldn't answer half the maths questions. English was a joke. English was basically, like all my assignments, one whole line. No commas, no full stops. Yeah. And so, just before COVID in 2019, I decided to, I found out that I could do a entrance course into university. It was basically the basics of a HSC, high school certificate. And I thought, you know what? This is my chance to learn. See if I've learnt something. There's that boat. See if I've learnt something. You don't get pass marks like you do at school, like 44 out of 50 you got to pass. They basically just agree that what you've submitted is passable to go into uni. And yeah, after 12 months, it was passable for me to go into uni. Yeah, and I learnt how to write essays, what a sentence was, the verbs and all the other things, and I kind of lost a lot of that now, but how to write, the importance of the spelling of the word to how it sounds or is meant in the sentence. Oh, I'm so grateful I did that course. It was hard. Not as hard as what uni is, I tell you. It's what they, uni's even harder. All I had to do was 4 subjects. Uni's is 8. Yeah, they predict a bit of rain today here. I'm here to help Glennie fix the tap, take my puppy dog to the vet, take her shopping. And where she lives, it's too far away from Woolworths. And the supermarket that's here hasn't got dog treats. So I'm going to organise buying dog treats online. So the girls, because they're both 2 girls, one Tenterfield Terrier, and my dog, or now Glennie's, is a Chihuahua. That's an applehead. It's got blue in its red coat. Looks good. She's so cute. But I can't take the doggy with me. Look at that, pelican. I can't take the doggy with me. Best thing ever. So when I buy a house, I'll build a fence and I'll buy another one or 2. They're such a great little dog. Smart, intelligent, knows what they want. Hey, bosses me around, I tell you. And another thing I learned about Chihuahuas, the males are needy, want to be around you all the time, but the females, get this, they'll go off on their own, do their own thing. They're not terribly fussed. And hear what I mean? I was saying, this boat, oh, he's not listening yet. He will. Yeah, they go off on their own and do their own thing. And when they want you, they'll come to you and they want a pat and they'll let you know they want a pat. And once the pat's done, they'll go away and go and they love lying in the sun. Keep them warm. They love little balls too. Oh, they love little chews, little toy chews. Yet they can keep themselves occupied. Oh. Oh, this is Crab Creek. There's a boat ramp here as well. This is as far as I'm going to take you. They got these things for dogs on the walk all over the place. Even some shops have got dog bowls out the front. Check this place out. Oh, you can't see it. It's a corner block. He wanted 3 million for it, but he's yeah, here we go. Mistletoe bird. Sexes have different markings. The male is iridescent blue-black above with red breast, red under the tail and white belly with black centre stripe. The female is dark grey above with a lighter grey belly and slightly reddish under the tail. 10 to 11 centimetres in size, and they eat insects and berries. Yeah, so there's this place, I'll get it. He wanted 3 million for it. And look at this. People's boats get stolen in the area, right? And then you see boats all over the place, just lying around the place. Always a bit too fearful. Put my boat out. Oh, there's some people here. I'll have to put the phone down if I go any further. There, look at that. Norman Point, 4 kilometres. Cooloola Cove, 9.6 kilometres. How's that? All the streets, not all of them, but the majority of the streets here are named after fish. So you've got Coral Trout Drive, Trevally Street, Dolphin Avenue, Emperor Street, Squire Street, Oyster Parade, Cod Street. Never heard of a Talara fish. Trevally Street, Snapper Creek Road. Gympie Road is the main road, which is actually a minor highway. Look at that. So quiet down here. There's usually all these big boats here, but they're not here today. So this place here on the corner, the guy wanted $3 million for it. And he had it on the market, I don't know, about 8 weeks. And he split them into 2. So the land is for sale and the house is for sale. But he still wants over 1.25 for the house and about 1.35 for the land. That's not included. So they got toilets here. I think the toilets here are open full time. No doors on them. They got toilets the other end. They got gates on them, but sometimes they don't lock them. And kiddies park, and got a table where you can have a barbecue. And they got this inlet. This creek goes to Cooloola Cove, and eventually, basically, when the tide goes out, it's listen to that. When the tide goes out, it's like what I just walked on. Here gets really low as well. Here, when the tide goes out, you can walk to the other side. This place here is usually full of boats. Over there, there's boats. Let's have a look. Over yonder, there's boats. Yeah, usually there's heaps of boats here. And big boats. There's a boat down there. When the tide goes out, it's just right down the centre of this little stream. You believe it, eh? There's all this water here. When the tide goes out, there's nothing there. Wind's kicking up. Usually the wind's kicking up in a day like this. There's a storm coming. It's usually a storm. And there's no clouds in the sky. And the wind's kicking up. There's a storm somewhere else. It's usually a storm somewhere else, and it's a big storm. Even though it's sunny and clear skies where you are, the storm's that big that you're getting the outer wind. And they're only usually gusts, not constant wind. As it twirls around. Yeah. So just in here we've got stonefish. We've got other things. So it's always, they say, going in sandy water like this, it's always good to wear those shoes for the sea. They've got a rubber sole, like a sneaker. Yeah, just to protect your foot. Yeah. There's a lot of boats in here. This used to be a big concrete thing here. See, there's the concrete. It wasn't here when I was here, it was like that. Probably not as bad as that. that's what it's doing. Everything's melting. Gotta go. And so the just recently, they've been covering it for a while, but the an ice shelf down at Antarctica has melted. It's broken away. It's well, same size as Italy, or same size as Tasmania or Italy or something like that. And yeah, look, now that's floated away. But did you know the ice shelves are actually connected to the base, the sea bottom? They're frozen there, and then what happens is the warm water of the sea melts it on the bottom, and then slowly but surely the cracks come from the bottom up, and then that's how the ice shelves break. The big ones. Anyway, thanks very much for coming for the walk. I didn't want to talk, but there's some things that just come to me, and I just share them. You know, it's a beautiful day. Look at that colour of that storm over there. Yeah, that's water in there. See the blue? That's water in them clouds. Especially if you've got green. You got green clouds, it's coming heavy and hard. Heavy and hard. Now, it took me a while to get used to this place. Oops. Now, this is the first place I've stayed in, and for more than 2 years. I've got to move off the path. Push bikes, they take all the room. Now I can't film people while they're doing what they're doing, unless I've got a big sign on my head saying filming in progress. Just respect people. Oh, they are. It's the end of the road. I'm walking back. I'm going to have a coffee. And wait until I got to go to my friend's house. Pick up the dog and take her to the vet. Another beautiful tree. Look at that. They all look different, you know what I mean? Some flower, some don't. Some smell, some don't. There was a tree like this in the street in front of the house I was looking at. Much bigger though, bigger trunk, and the lean-to was much more. And as we first saw it 10 years ago, I said, oh gee, that's going to fall one day. And sure enough, it fell. We had heaps of rain, and then all of a sudden, the weight just ripped the whole root out of the ground and everything. Yeah, it was massive. Luckily it didn't damage the house across the road from where it lived. Anyway, thank you very much for watching. You have a great day. Have a good day. Be good to yourself. Think kind thoughts to yourself. Anything's not going your way, just stop and remind yourself it's only for the moment. It's not forever. And look at it. Okay, why am I getting angry at this? Why is this annoying me? Ask yourself them questions. Why am I getting upset? Why am I upset? All these negative things. in our life. Anything that makes you get angry, anything that makes you talk ill of yourself or negative, ask yourself, why is this doing this to me? Why am I thinking like this? Why am I reacting like this? Why am I doing this? Ask yourself them questions. Why? There's things that still aggravate me. I've got to stop. Hang on, Tick. It's not important. Stop that. And I ask myself, why am I doing? And then I look at it, I think that's why. And then I ask, well, why am I getting angry because of that? And then I ask myself again, why? Every time I answer it, and then I go, well, why am I doing that? Why? It's got to be some reason why we're doing it. Why? Because we do not need to be like have that in our life. That ugliness, right? We need to have that beauty in our life. In the path, our path is a journey, and we're still able to cross the bridge and continue forward, loving life and loving ourselves.